Welcome to another XL Gaming cast. Here we have Yellow Solo Mid Reborn versus Weeb Destroyers. We're already quite a way into the draft, and it's going extremely quickly. Guys, what do we think of these picks and bans so far?
At the moment, both teams seem to draft fairly quickly, seeming to already know what type of strat they want to run.
Radiant team ban.
Weeb Destroyers opting for the Sven due to the new stack changes in the new meta, and going with the Wisp for that extra sustain and attack speed. It's a nice opening.
I was going to say, I haven't seen many IO Sven combinations, but the overcharge and the move speed buff for Sven could be quite scary when he's running at you.
I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing some early pushing. Maybe even Avenge pickup for Weeb Destroyers for that extra aura damage.
Radiant team pick.
Do you reckon they're going to run that Sven IO mid?
Dire team pick.
That's the plan.
Mid, I think it depends on what Yellow pick up for their mid laner. At the moment, it doesn't look like they've given it away yet.
Just to leave it pretty open for them.
Radiant team
That's a nice offlaner pick. Seems pretty strong at the moment, no matter how hard you nerf him.
They do have some strong counter initiation in that Warlock, though. Do you think they might?
I feel like they might dual lanes with the Warlock to make the offlane win even harder against the Ursa since he's melee.
5 seconds remaining.
So we might just see an Abaddon or something, even more defensive strats.
It's going to have to be a pretty strong laner because at the moment the Wisp Sven, if they're together, it's going to be a solid lane itself, but it leaves the other lanes a bit weak, and they're going to have to make a strong laner up here with a Warlock.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an Abaddon because it's a pretty decent counter to Batrider. He can afford
they are still looking for that offlaner as well. This is the Omni Knight. That's also another not too decent counter. I don't think the Repel purges off the Lasso, but it will prevent all the damage that he'll take from it.
Exactly, and it's a nice pick against Ursa. Whenever he's starting to attack anybody, you can just pop Guardian Angel. And then away Weeb Destroyers can just run.
And certainly Yellow will have to be very scared of an overcharged repelled Sven running at them in the mid game as well.
Exactly, and if they're all fatal bonded, they're going to take a lot of damage. So positioning will be a big thing for Yellow Solo Reborn. We see the CM pick up here, and it's nice for the early game for Ursa. Possibly get a kill on Omni Knight before he gets repelled.
10 seconds remaining.
So they're going to help that Batrider in his laning stage as well, just spamming out that sticky napalm.
Remaining.
Exactly. What are we thinking here to what type of mid lane is? Do you think they're looking for at the moment now?
I think Yellow probably need to be looking for some more ranged, something that can click towers like a Shadow Fiend.
Ember Spirit.
Ember Spirit.
Radiant team pick.
Ember Spirit. I think they're going to lack ability to push towers.
Well, their frontliner now is Ursa.
Exactly.
Which leaves it a bit weird.
And Omni Knight has the Guardian Angel and the Repel for both of their cores. So it's a bit of a strange pick.
10 seconds remaining.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Quap or a
5 seconds remaining.
TA coming out for Weeb Destroyers. Both
just a strong tempo controller.
Yeah, a nice easy hero to win the lanes. Because Sven IO is already a strong lane as it is, and actually I favour Weeb Destroyers lanes at the moment. They seem a lot stronger.
I think the TA loses mid to the Ember Spirit though.
It depends on the matchup of.
I think it'll be Sven IO. It should be Sven IO against the Ember.
Player can usually destroy an Ember, but they do have the rotation ability of Crystal Maiden and Jakiro, so you never know.
They're very early with that CM Jakiro pickup. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at this moment, all they have to worry about is that Sven. Like all of that team revolves around that Sven. The Omni Knight and the Warlock and the IO, they don't really do much by themselves. They're just going to be there assisting the Sven.
They definitely need another strong damage dealer.
Yeah, like that TA or something.
Shadow Fiend is still in the pool. TA, I still think TA would be not too bad.
Yeah, no, the TA is not a good pick, but I'm just saying like some sort of physical...
Even like a TA with Repel on, it's pretty deadly.
Meepo!
Oh, wow.
Meepo.
Wow. That's a lot of AoE.
That's a lot of lockdown for that Ember Spirit too.
They're not showing any respect for the rest of the team there. It's a lot of AoE, so they must have a lot of confidence in their Meepo player. Fatal Bonds plus Puff, that's a lot of damage as well. Very interesting.
So is it a dual lane Warlock with Omni Knight? Or it can't be.
I think
Omni Knight offlane.
I did have the impression that they would dual offlane with Warlock because it's a pretty strong offensive dual laner.
And Omni Knight Warlock lane is basically ungankable.
Exactly, but I think they might get the Omni Knight to solo so he can get levels, and Warlock will be stacking. I feel like that's what they might be doing now. Jakira will be the pressure onto the Omni Knight, and the CM would probably jungle to get that quick level 2.
You think
So
they're
we
going
expect an early tri lane then from Yellow?
With the Jakira, CM, and Ursa? Oh, look, we got a bit of trash talking already.
Alright, so let's have a look at who's going to be playing what roles. So we've got Telstra on the Warlock, Novalau on the Meepo, Alien on the Io, Tony Carroll and Sven, and Scroats on the Omni Knight. Moving over to the other side of the map now.
All
Got Yellow on the Ursa, DC28 on the Ember Spirit, Careless Whisper on Crystal Maiden, is that Nevdi on Jakiro, and then Captain Kirk on the Batrider.
Here we see a nice early 5-man rotation coming out from Weeb Destroyers.
They've got the sentries down on the Warlock. It looks like they're going to go for a nice big wraparound here.
Their smokers popped, they're looking for him right now, and
They know that they're there.
still
30
oblivious.
seconds to battle.
They've spotted out this fence. Stormhammer goes in and hits 3. Omni Knight goes in. He's got the purification. He's going to get that out onto 3 people. Tether running them down. Omni Knight's just going to chase down, but are they going to be able to get the damage out to get any kills here?
That was some big miscommunication coming out there. Crystal Maiden would have been an easier kill. But they opted to go for the Ursa to maybe shut down his lane a bit harder.
And they have, they are just going to secure themselves the wins, the rune here, so it's not all for nothing. And it looks like they are going to run that Warlock Omni offlane, unless Warlock's about to rotate.
Which it seems like that's what he's doing right now. Doesn't look like he's trying to block the lane. Making his way bottom to put a bit more pressure on his Batrider.
It's also interesting that Warlock's opted to go for the early Sage's mask, which doesn't actually provide very much regen at all at this point in the game.
Yeah, it is a bit strange. I think maybe he was trying to rush that Ring of Bastilius, but it would have been more beneficial if he had gotten the Ring of Protections, and then he could go to the side shop instead of taking the courier off the mid laner so early into the game.
Oh, Omni's getting gone on the top lane. He's been frostbitten up by the Crystal Maiden. He's just going to get harassed down and make his way back to the tower.
And we got a nice D ward there. Omni showing movements that there would be a ward there, and that's a nice pickup from Nedley there.
I think this lane becomes a lot harder for Omni Knight when he's got the purification up. Really needs to repel.
Exactly. This is the pressure they need to keep on him so Ursa can get that quick level 2.
Omni should not be getting any experience in this lane at all.
He's almost level 2, as you can see as well.
Meepo's doing well though. Farming in mid.
Once Meepo hits level 3, I'm pretty sure Ember won't be able to lane at all. He'll be too scared.
Isolated, can I get you to mute your in-game? I'm getting an echo.
Yeah.
Here we see a lot of pressure being put on this Omni Knight before he hits level 2. He has no repel.
Yeah, he's getting gone on again. Liquid Fire comes out. It's just going to slow him down and harass him. He's going to look to trade out, but the Frostbite comes in. Repel, Purification up, and he's just going to back himself away. Captain Kirk here going in on this fan. That's a lot of damage coming out. You have 3 or 4 stacks of sticky napalm, and this Batrider's getting an awful lot out of this against this tri-lane.
There's just no respect for the Batrider pick. He's got boots instead of getting a wand into a Batrider lane. I feel like if you got that wand, or even if the Io got a wand, so then he could push that Sven back up to high HP.
And this tri-lane is really struggling to zone out this Batrider.
So I think what they look to to do now since Batrider got the first kills and he's level 3 now. I think what they're trying to look to do is get some stacks up in the jungle and have Sven rotate into the jungle fairly early. Get a bit of farm back. Meepo with a level 4 now. And Hemisphere's keeping up.
Oh, they're going in on this Omni Knight again. He's getting harassed very, very hard by this tri-lane. He is not getting totally denied his XP though. His wave pushes up underneath his tower.
Warlock definitely should have been at top. I don't see the reason that he's down bot right now. Like, he's pulling and stuff, but there's something that Io can always do, and now he's going to get ganked on.
Oh, this is a hasted Batrider. This is absolutely terrifying. He's just going to go into the Warlock. He's going to try and heal himself out. Stormhammer comes out just to slow down this Batrider, and it looks like he's going to get the message, and he's going to back up and try and harass this Sven a little bit more before the Firefly runs out. Once again, this Batrider is just forcing, I think, this Warlock to stay top.
Oh, nice nets.
Very strong net. Stops that gank in its tracks.
We'll see Crystal Maiden coming to get a level 2 from this pool, and the Mana Aura will be very nice for everyone across the map.
He's coming out of the right on the night after this lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's definitely taking the opportunity while Jakiro's rotated out to contest those pulls.
Let's get that level 2 in Purification now. It's definitely a survive.
Oh, Jakiro's wrapping around on him. He does have the Ice Path, sets up with the Liquid Fire. Repel comes out from Omni Knight, and he's just going to run himself away, but he's not going to have enough duration. I think they're going to dive in here. Ice Path hits, Purification comes out, and Jairus is just going to chase him down and right-click him under the tower.
Well played. They knew that the Repel was only level 1, so they could wait a few seconds and dive him with the Ursa, who has Poor Man's Shield. So it could take a lot of damage.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We see some rotations from the Batrider with Illusions, creating a bit more pressure on those supports.
This Batrider's only level 3.
He did walk back to base, as well as rotate to get runes.
It's that effect of having no shrine until 5 minutes right now. He has to walk all the way back. It's kind of a nerf to offlaners.
If you have a quick look at the offlaners, the Omni Knight has 6 last hits compared to the 5 on the Batrider. So comparatively, Omni not doing too bad here. He's going to pick himself up a couple of neutrals here too.
What I don't understand here is why Sven hasn't picked up a magic one yet.
Oh, Jakiro wrapping around onto the Note Spirit. Fire Remnant comes out, and this Meepo is in a lot of trouble right now. He's trying to do the juke around. Io comes out with the tether. Big nice save. Crystal Maiden comes in. Is he going to be able to make it out? Right clicks coming out from Jakiro. Very close, but the auto attack damage is just enough. They're going to get the IO as well, with Crystal Maiden activating that shrine.
Calculated shrine there.
They're all dead! Oh, Paul's coming up. Hey guys, I wasn't so sure about these chat wheels, but they offer a lot of flavor when we can't quite see the internal communications of the teams.
They do the job for us. What I would like to be seen from the Warlock, because it's not really applying pressure in lane, is to stack. We see no stacks anywhere on the map on the Radiant side of the jungle. And they do have a Sven and a Meepo, so stacks would be beneficial for both. Or even if Meepo sent one of his Meepos to go stack jungle camps for himself, now that he's behind with the Ember getting a kill. In that mid lane, I think they should focus on abusing the stacks now. But because Batrider's won his lane, they're refusing to buy a wand into a Batrider lane with Arcane Aura, so I'm not sure what's going through the mind of Radiant at the moment.
It's definitely some poor decision making. I feel like this this defensive tri-lane has just absolutely fallen on its face.
And maybe as Isolated said earlier, as we identified, that this safe lane has sort of sacked hardcore, they could have rotated the Warlock even top instead of doing the stacking, and then apply more pressure onto this Ursa, who's getting pretty much whatever he wants.
I think the Ursa is going to be the key here. As soon as Batrider gets his blink, the Ursa should be able to drop almost anything as long as the Omni Knight is well carded. Omni Knight doesn't get any repels on anybody.
Exactly.
So it's going to be positioning, like everybody said at the start of the game. Who plays the right position, who gets the right initiation.
I love these chat wheels, man. They're so good. So let's take a minute to analyze the situation of both teams whilst we have this pause. Batrider opting for the Blink Dagger, 1500 gold off it. Warlock's still only level 2. Really need some levels on both of these supports here. Sven only level 4 without a wand as well, and only treads. This Batrider's played really well.
Just killing him.
Crystal Maiden and Jakira are smoked up at
yeah, we've got a smoke wrap around. Looks like they're searching for the
Meepo.
Meepo, who's just jungling at the moment. They're invading into the jungle, and it looks the smoke's popped. They know that someone's around. Ooh. Oh, they're gonna catch him here on the low ground.
Here incoming
Liquid fire coming out, and here's the Batrider as well. He's not level 6 yet, but he's gonna have enough damage. In comes the Ember Spirit as well, and that Meepo is gonna get put to sleep.
That's also rotations on the Omni Knight now
is under attack
as well. But at the same time, it's a little bit
Dire's
more.
bottom tower is
Batrider's found himself a Warlock, but that Firefly is gonna run out. Warlock's just gonna walk
Radiant
himself away.
structures are fortified.
Radiant Dire is now grouping up around this mid
Radiant's
tower,
middle tower
looking to
is under
push this
attack.
early advantage that they've got.
This is what you get with the CM pick. These quick rotations. Basically, the entire Dire team.
Oh, they spotted out the Meepo. The Ice Path comes out, so does the Frostbite, but it doesn't look like they're going to commit for that with the Omni standing right next to them.
This is getting closer and closer to that Blink Dagger. Only 600 gold.
Oh, we have an Invis Batrider going onto this Warlock. He's popped the Firefly. Sticky Napalm, 2 stacks of Sticky Napalm, and he's just going to walk him back to his tower. And Radiant are not looking good here at all. This Batrider is getting so much done. And Sven says, I want exactly none of that, and TP's back to the safe lane tier 2.
So this will be a good time for Sven, knowing that his lane is very difficult, where they could get some stacks in the jungle and Sven could come back really hard. But at the moment,
Radiant's middle tower
Radiant
is under
are
attack.
taking very wise decisions in my opinion.
Look at this dominant vision from the Dire now as well. They've got these really aggressive wards.
They know that they have to create pressure onto the Meepo early game, take the pressure off the Meepo, and then they're left with an unfarmed Sven to try and win the game. Under level support. Dire put themselves.
Oh, they're going in on the Meepo again. Io comes in with the tether. Ice Blast follow up. Ember Spirit goes in with the Remnant.
Oh,
That
wow.
regen is just so strong though. Are they going to be able to take him out? Root comes out and they take the Meepo down again. Someone that was having such a good early game, they're really pressuring him now. I think they've identified that the Radiant lanes have not gone as they wanted to, and this Meepo is the Radiant were going to have to look to the Meepo for their salvation, so the Dire just pressuring him up and killing him time after time after time.
Here we see Ursa with this wave. He should be able to get his Blink Dagger, and he'll be able to apply even more pressure onto the Meepo. Game's looking very lopsided onto Dire at the moment. So what do you guys?
He spotted himself a Crystal Maiden, and the Ice Path is just going to force them back.
What do you guys think Radiant have to do to try to come back into this game?
I think they need to be taking advantage of these low creep spawns now and stacking probably the mid lane Ancients for Sven in anticipation of him being able to farm a bunch of stacks at the same time.
Even with them stacking, Dire have some really aggressive warlocks, so they'll know when they'll be farming in the jungle, so they could just smoke up and make an approach onto the Radiant heroes. And they've even got a sentry on the ancient stack, which I'm sure Radiant have no idea.
Got the Ursa and the CM standing in the trees as well.
I don't think they want to give away that he has Blink Decker just yet.
No, they're certainly waiting for that reveal.
There it is.
Oh, Sven comes out, stun, and Omni Knight is just gonna... Oh, ult comes out from Omni Knight. Ursa is just gonna run down the Sven. They're just kiting him out with slows. Oh, Blink Dagger comes out, jumps in on the IO, tethers away. Upheaval comes out. Ember Spirit's gonna dive in. He's gonna get the root, but he's gonna have to back up.
I'm really struggling to see how, once Wisp gets relocated, how they're going to be able to pick off any of these heroes at the moment. We've got a Blink Dagger on Ursa, Blink Dagger coming up on back rider with this tower.
Radiant's bottom tower.
It's not even close either. Like that, even though he's level 5, it's still going to be very hard for the Wisp to get into a point that he actually gets decent XP.
And I really don't see them with any kill potential, maybe except for the Crystal Maiden. But they're usually sticking together.
This is what their draft is meant to do, the Dire's draft, and proving that if you can just push into an Omni Knight early, you can't really do anything. Same with the Warlock, it's just not a very good early game dealing with early pushes.
Exactly.
He's level 3 here on the Warlock, by the way.
Level 3, wow.
Haste.
They found himself a Sven, but Sven's just going to pick up the haste and sprint away into the Dire jungle, which might be the only safe place that he can get some farm at this point in the game. They've found themselves the IO though, and they're just going to burst him down super quick. He's just disappeared.
It's more time on him getting 6.
I think the next power spike we might need to look for on the Radiant side is probably going to be this Warlock's level 6. But he's only level 4 and it's 13 minutes into the game.
Exactly.
And look, they've spotted themselves out the Warlock as well.
I think he's dead again.
I think he's in a lot of trouble.
I think they know exactly where he is.
I don't think he's got any idea. Oh no, he does, he does. He's going to try and juke out in the trees, but you can't go in there. And Ursa's just going to beat the crap out of him.
This is some great early pressure.
It's a 7,000 net worth lead for the Dire at the moment as well. This is very significant. Going in on this poor Miko again. He's going to try and get himself away. He's going to poof out, and they're not going to be able to chase him down. Sven sitting in the trees. He's just going to TP back home.
Playing with fire.
Heroes opted for a Martyrs.
There is definitely a fire-themed draft coming out from the Radiant though, with the Jakiro, the Ember, and the Batrider.
Do you guys actually know if Magnifier works with Sticky Napalm?
If what, sorry?
Sticky Napalm.
That would be a very cool interaction.
Top tower is under attack.
I think it only applies for the Batrider. Again, the Radiant just going to force down this tower.
They know that the power spike the Radiant need is for Meeper to come online with that point dagger.
They have a very significant advantage here too. I think they're probably going to go Roche after this.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oh look, they're pinging it out too.
This should be a very quick Roshan. Radiant won't be able to defend that at all. I think they should try to use this space to try and get some farm on Sven.
I think they've lost their window to stack camps for Sven as well. The Dire just have complete control over their jungle.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
The first bear burns
I think they just dodge fights for now and then wait until the higher ground and hopefully pull out some kiting material and make them use their blink daggers in ways that they don't want to, because it's 0-10 and it's not looking too good.
Sven opting for that Master of Madness. We know that seems to be the meta build at the moment, but what do you guys think on it? Do you think he should have gone any other early game item to perhaps...
I think he needed to go in for...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I'm having a blank here on the name of the item. Oh, looks like they're going into the found themselves. Meepo again. Big ult from CM. Lasso committed. There's probably a little bit of overkill, but at this point, I don't even think they need their ultimates to get kills with this Ursa.
Can't be getting kills when you're this far behind. It's just, unless you're making space somewhere else on the map, whereas they've got the Omni Knight at top and he's not really pushing into the tower at all. That Meepo death is just putting him so much more behind. The Mask of Madness, I think, is actually a decent idea because you have the repel and the IO, but I think he's just too squishy at this point that he won't survive anything.
Most people opt for
this
that
Ember Spirit's going to find himself a Sven. He's got the Invisor and he's standing on top of him. Sven has to be aware of this because his head is getting burnt down by the Flame Guard.
Wow.
But he's going to go and he's going to farm the Ancients.
He has no idea. In comes Batrider.
Oh, here we go. It just absolutely blown up. I don't
Radiant's bottom
Was
tower
Sven
is
looking
under
at his
attack.
screen?
I don't really. Yeah, that was.
Dire's top tower
He might
is
have been
under
map
attack.
panning. I don't see how he wouldn't understand that he's losing HP.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Oh, they found themselves a Crystal Maiden. Could this be the first kill as Poof completely misses?
I think he should have admitted that.
Batrider posturing aggressively now. The upheaval just going to slow them down, but the Jakiro is going to cancel it.
Has anybody seen Warlock's level at the moment?
I think he's still 4, maybe 5? No,
he's
he's level 5.
He just hit level 5.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There is a tome of there.
Oh, and the Batrider's going to pick him off. Ice Path comes in. Ursa's just going to click him down. Batrider's going to pick up the kill.
This happens a lot with amateur teams. You start crumbling and just keep dribbling into them and feeding them up more. It takes a lot of experience and time to realize what you need to do. And when you're in a situation like this in a game,
Realistically,
Radiant's
is there
top
any
tower
way
is
back
under
into this
attack.
game for the Radiant?
There definitely is a way back into this. Meepo can still come back into this quite strong.
Never refuse gold.
I think what we're looking for him to get is that Blink Dagger, so he can pick up the support solo. Then he turns Maiden's out about, like, away
Radiant's
from the team.
top
Or
tower
secure that
is under attack.
He can solo pick him off, get the
Radiant's
gold
top
and
tower
experience.
has fallen.
And then he can move on to getting that sheep stick, which you can then pick off the Ursa with. And then Sven's always a strong carry, but he's very far behind. But he does have that Mask of Madness to enhance his farming ability. But
I feel like the Echo Saber might have been the better option because I don't think farming is really on the menu for them at the moment.
I think the next item, Blink is good. And then I feel like he should be opting for a BKB or a Hellbit afterwards to disable that Ursa from hitting anybody, because he won't be going for a BKB as there is a Omni Knight on the other team, so Diffusal is a nice pickup for him. And I just clicked on Ursa Ben and he's got it queued up.
Yeah, he's got most of it, in fact. This Omni Knight is very close to finding himself being completely ineffectual this game.
Warlock's still at 5 needs to buy that tomb.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they haven't bought that tomb yet. That would get him that level 6.
Now they're just taking the whole map away from the Radiant side by putting up those wards and just bordering it up, and they're just squished into this little place where you have to farm
Oh,
together.
Ursa jumping in. The Ice Path's going to come out. It's going to hold the Warlock in place. Stormhammer comes out. Are they going to be able to get this kill? He does have the Aegis, though. It's likely that they haven't committed too heavily onto getting that kill. Batrider comes in. He's going to drag the Meepo back. Ice Path comes out. Oh, Omni Knight comes out with the well-timed Guardian Angel. Ember Spirit jumps triple Remnants in and picks up the kill onto the Omni Knight. And they're just going to smack down the Sven.
Radiant's
Crystal
bottom
Maiden
tower
getting a
is under
full duration
attack.
ult off during that fight.
That was some nice patience coming out from the Batrider there. Opting to wait
Radiant
until after
structures are fortified.
after Ursa respawned with
Radiant's
Aegis.
bottom tower is under attack.
Going to pick up that Meepo straight
Oh,
up.
Ember Spirit has found himself an IO. Ursa going to blink in. He's going to get 4 staffed away. Crystal Maiden now just zoning backwards. She's realised she's in a bit of a dangerous position. She's just going to back up.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Dia looked very happy to take that tower and back up.
That Rider playing with fire, knowing that no one can catch him.
I think they were looking for a bait there, actually, with the Ursa sitting on that high ground. But they're going to back up and take the shrines.
Sven opting for that Sange, so he could be looking to get the Halberd to make Ursa less of a problem.
You reckon it's though, or you reckon it's the SNY?
I'm gonna place my money that this is an SNY.
I'm gonna say it should be a halberd, but it's gonna be an SNY.
Yeah. The option.
Batrider finding himself another pick on this Warlock. The Warlock is almost worth nothing at the moment as far as pickoffs go. Has he yet found? No, he still hasn't found his level 6.
Level 5, 22 minutes into the game. This is some. Yeah, this game is very difficult for this Warlock. I'm sure his spirits are very high, and I hope that his team is just trying to keep his morale up.
Oh, Mipe's trying to chase down at the moment. He's missed out the net onto the Crystal Maiden.
Do we know if the tome is still available? The tome is still available. Oh, unless one of his carries have used it. Which seems more like the more likely answer.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Ursus has got that defusal.
That's it, like, eventually they're just gonna take those towers. Nothing they can do.
Oh, jumps in. Ah, Fuel Spirit saving. Oh, wow. Okay, so Warlock does have his level 6. Rock gets dropped. They're going to click down this Ursa. He's got his ult up, so he's not really taking enough damage. And they get their first kill on the board for the side of the Dire. Batrider comes out, and he's taking so much damage here. And he's going to go down as well. Ember Spirit coming in with big sleight of fist cleanup. Io and Omni here in a little bit of trouble as Ember Spirit dives in at the tier 4s. It looks like they're going to get the pick up now.
I think that's it, like, you lose both your doors, the Sven and the Meeper, and then can't do anything after that with the low-level Warlock, the Omni Knight, and the Io, they just don't do enough, and they call GG.
Yeah, and they've called it GG. I think it's a very sensible decision.
I feel like Dire saw and knew that they were going to have
Dire victory.
quite greedy lane. They took advantage of knowing that Meeper needs a lot of space and those early levels to come down. They really took out the jungle and the Sven really hard.
Played those heroes perfectly. Still came together.
Now that we conclude, I feel like there was a bit of a skill difference between both teams. A bit of item knowledge, a bit of lack of item knowledge coming out from the Radiant team, Weeb Destroyers, as well. Opting to just go for those big items instead of even those little early to mid game items like your wand. Only one hero on that team got a wand, which is pretty poor.
Certainly, everyone in that Radiant safe lane needed to have themselves at least a magic stick.
Exactly. A bit of survivability. Surprised not to see it on Sven against the Batrider. A lot of the time you're soloing. I feel like he could have stayed or sustained himself a bit longer. Omni and I did well in the laning phase to get those early levels, and got some really nice Guardian Angels off, but Radiant failed to give Warlock that level 6, which could have been a big game changer early game while still being aggressive.
I think it might be worth highlighting maybe some of the things that the Radiant could have done to improve their chances of winning that game. And the one that stood out the most for me was the Warlock. He sat in that bottom lane. He didn't make any stacks for the Radiant. He wasn't able to save the Sven from being killed at any point, and he also could have rotated into that top lane to help out that Omni Knight.
Yeah, it should have been decided from the start that he was going up there, but I don't know why he was down there, but it obviously didn't do anything for them. And maybe they'll come out next time and have a look at that and realize that your supports, if they're not doing something that is enabling or helping your team in any way, they need to be pushed aside to stack or do something else that will help them later. Especially with the Sven.
And I'd like to give props to the Omni Knight, who I think was in an absolutely awful lane with two strong disables and a lot of physical damage. And I'm not sure that he died at all during that laning stage.
Yeah, it was really, really, really well played from him to get those early levels, but he just really failed as a unit, as a team. I think they failed to communicate a lot of things, and getting that early level 6 on a Warlock was a big mistake from them. It could have been a big game changer.
I think at some point they probably could have rotated out the Omni Knight out of that top lane and put the Warlock in there. Even if the Warlock died, he would still be getting those really important levels, and the Omni Knight would have been more effective at stopping the Sven from being ganked as well.
You put the repel on the Sven and gets rid of all the stacks, and then he's fine in that lane, and then the Warlock just leeches XP. Something like that could have happened.
Or even what Radiant could have done is realize that Omni Knight could have taken on the Batrider by himself with repel, and then they could have done an offensive offlane tri-lane to try to shut down a bit harder on the Ursa, who got whatever he wanted.
Certainly, it's really important to remember that the lanes never have to be static, and you can shift around.
Exactly.
The other thing that I noticed is that there wasn't really a lot of warding coming out from the Radiant either. Certainly during that early mid-game period, when the Dire addressed that, hey, look, this Meepo is the only person on their team that's going to pose a threat to us, and they started making those continued rotations onto him, they didn't ward up appropriately to look after him. There were no defense. The IO actually had some good defensive TPs and did his best to try and save the Meepo a couple of times. But when you've got a Warlock and an Omni Knight as well, and you've got these three really defensive heroes, I just don't think we were seeing enough TPs in there to save that Meepo.
The IO isn't a team fighting type of support that you pick up, but the Warlock had nothing the entire game, so they couldn't really take any fights, which led them to just lose all their towers and lose the game.
Exactly, and then they had the Meepo, who is a greedy hero on himself and takes all the levels and all the farm off the map. And they have a Sven with absolutely nothing, and I think it showed that game.
All right, guys. Well, I think we've probably done enough post-game analysis now, and if Weeb Destroyers choose to have a listen to it back, they should have some good information to go back over. So thanks for joining me for the cast, guys. And by the looks of it, there isn't going to be a game 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play game 2 after that demoralizing defeat as well.
Yep.
No, I just hope that they're not too demoralized and they can bounce back from this.
Hopefully they can watch a replay and know where they made the mistakes and how they can learn from them.
All right, thanks again for joining me, guys.
No worries.
It's been another cast from XL Gaming.